Ever get lost in the weeds of like a dense contract
Oh, yeah,
and wish you had a legal expert on speed dial?
totally.
Well, you're not alone. Today's deep dive is tackling how AI is changing the legal game and maybe even simplifying those situations for everyone.
And the fascinating thing is this isn't some like far off sci-fi
All
scenario.
right.
We're talking AI already at work in law firms today,
Wow.
making waves in a field that's always been,
Very human.
yeah, human powered,
Exactly.
like very traditionally so.
You sent over this article titled Law Firms Embrace AI. Is Time-Based Billing Becoming Obsolete?
Right.
And let me tell you, the implications have me seriously intrigued.
Yeah.
AI lawyers.
It's
It
wild.
sounds like science fiction.
It does. It really does. But
me tell
it's
you.
the reality we're moving toward. I mean, think about it. The legal field practically runs on paperwork, right?
Tons of it.
Contracts, emails, court documents.
Ugh,
It's a crazy amount of data.
so much to go through.
And AI, AI excels at processing and analyzing information on a scale that humans we can't match.
So you're saying AI could be the key to like finally conquering that mountain of legal paperwork?
Yeah,
I'm
potentially.
picturing those pretrial discovery phases where,
Yeah.
lawyers are just like drowning in boxes of
I'm
documents,
working around the clock.
trying to find that one
Like
like
one piece of evidence.
needle in a haystack.
Exactly. And discovery
That's
is,
the worst.
it's notoriously time-consuming and expensive,
The worst,
which means hefty fees for clients.
of course.
But imagine AI stepping in and using tools, like natural language processing to sift through all of that data.
In a fraction of the time.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking way faster.
Now that you mention it, I do remember reading about a major law firm, Cleary Gottlieb.
Right.
They used to need like a small army of, I think it was 150 lawyers
Oh, wow.
to handle a single complex case.
Just because of the paperwork?
Yeah. The sheer volume of documents.
And with AI, they were able to shrink that team down to 45 lawyers.
That's incredible.
Huge.
What a
Right?
difference.
Talk about efficiency.
Yeah. And potentially costs too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it has huge implications there.
So does this mean like robot lawyers are about to take over the courtroom?
I mean, not quite.
Okay.
At least not yet.
So no Terminator scenario yet.
Not yet, no, but it's more like
Yeah.
AI augmenting the work of human lawyers, acting as a superpowered assistant.
So AI isn't like drafting legal strategies or arguing cases in court yet.
Not yet, but it's
Yeah.
getting there. So what exactly is it doing in these law firms right now?
So it's tackling those
Okay.
really tedious, time-consuming tasks
sense.
that can bog down like legal teams.
Right.
Things like summarizing complex documents,
Okay.
flagging key information, even drafting like initial versions of contracts.
Interesting.
It frees up human lawyers to actually focus on the bigger picture stuff.
Yeah.
Like strategy, negotiation, client interaction, the things that actually require a human.
Exactly. Human judgment and expertise.
So AI's handling the grunt work, but the human lawyers are still calling the shots.
For now. Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
Okay.
We'll see what the future holds.
That makes sense. But even as like a superpowered assistant,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't this have major implications for, the way legal services are built?
Oh, absolutely.
That whole billable hour system that clients love to complain about.
Oh, yeah. And this is where it gets really interesting for,
For everyone.
anyone who's ever hired a lawyer or even just thought about it and shuddered at the potential costs.
It's true.
Clients, generally, they despise the billable hour.
It's the worst.
It's unpredictable. It can feel like you're paying for, every email and phone call.
That whole little thing.
Yeah. And you never know how much it's going to cost in the end.
Exactly. It's so unpredictable.
Right.
So is AI the key to finally killing the billable hour?
I mean, it's possible.
Okay.
It could be. Will we start seeing more flat fees for legal services because of this, you think?
The article suggests it's a real possibility.
Interesting.
Yeah, because if AI can really streamline those time-consuming tasks, then it's easier for law firms to say, okay, this is how much work this case is going to be.
Yeah, it just makes it much easier to predict.
Right, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
And that could lead to more transparent pricing,
Which is good for everyone, right?
which clients love.
Everyone loves transparency.
Absolutely.
But is it really that simple? I mean, adopting a new technology comes with its own set of costs, doesn't it?
You're right to be skeptical.
Yeah.
It's not a magic bullet.
Right.
Implementing AI doesn't come cheap.
Yeah.
You've got the cost of the software itself, plus the training, the support needed to integrate it into how a firm works.
Right, of course.
The whole process.
So it sounds like while the idea of AI making legal services more affordable is incredibly appealing,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a guaranteed outcome,
Right.
at least not right away.
Yeah, not in the short term. It's like any new technology, right?
Right.
There are upfront costs, there's a learning curve before you really start to see those benefits play out.
Makes sense.
And some experts even argue that for certain tasks, using AI might actually be more expensive, at least for now.
Really?
Especially when you think about like the specialized knowledge you need to manage these systems.
Oh, right, because you need someone who actually knows how to use the software.
Exactly. It's not just plug and play.
Right.
You need someone who understands the technology and the legal stuff.
Okay, so cost savings aside, what about the, accuracy and security of using AI in such a, high stakes field?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we're talking about legal documents, contracts.
Sensitive information.
Yeah, sensitive information. There's no room for error there.
Absolutely. You're hitting on a really important point.
Yeah.
The article does mention this concern about AI hallucinations.
Hallucinations. What does that even mean in this context?
So it's basically where the AI generates information that's incorrect, or sometimes it just makes things up entirely.
Wait, so it's like making stuff up?
Yeah, and that's obviously a huge concern in the legal field.
Oh, totally. Imagine an AI drafting a contract and it just, throws in some random clause that's completely outdated.
They're just plain wrong.
You're illegal even.
Exactly, and that could have really serious consequences.
Yeah, that's a little unnerving.
It is a bit, yeah.
It's like that fear of AI going rogue, but in a paperwork kind of way.
It's true.
It's not like it's intentionally trying to cause harm.
Right.
It's more like misunderstanding or misinterpreting information.
Precisely.
Okay, so it's not necessarily malicious.
Not really.
What's still potentially dangerous.
Right, and on top of that, you have to remember these systems, they're trained on these massive data sets.
Right.
And so there's always the question of where that data came from, and whether it contains biases.
So if an AI is trained on a data set of contracts that mostly favor big corporations, then it might end up creating similarly biased contracts.
Yeah, it's a real concern.
Wow, that's a really important point.
Yeah, and it's something that experts are really grappling with right now.
So how do we ensure that these AI systems are being developed and trained responsibly?
Right, especially in law where fairness and impartiality are so important.
Absolutely. So how do we do it?
Well, it's a tough question, but there are a few approaches.
Okay, like what?
One is to create AI models that are trained specifically on legal data.
So it's not just general knowledge, it's specific to the field.
Exactly, because that helps to minimize the risk of incorporating irrelevant or potentially biased information.
Makes sense. What else?
Another key thing is human review.
Oh, okay. So you still need that human oversight.
Absolutely. I mean, at least for now.
So it's not like you can just let the AI run wild and hope for the best.
Not yet. No, you need lawyers to carefully check the AI's work, make sure everything is accurate and ethically sound.
So it's a combination of refining the technology itself
Yeah.
and also establishing clear protocols for using it.
Exactly. You need both.
It's like acknowledging that AI is a powerful tool, but it's still just a tool.
Right.
And it needs human guidance.
I like that. It's like a partnership.
Exactly.
You've got the AI's processing power, and then you've got human judgment to guide it.
It's pretty amazing to think about how AI could, level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah.
Give individuals and small businesses tools that were previously only accessible to these giant corporations.
Totally. And honestly, we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, really?
This whole conversation about AI lawyers, it gets even more interesting when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Zoom out for me.
Well, if AI can potentially transform a field like law, which is steeped in tradition, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Relies heavily on human judgment.
Totally.
It makes you wonder what other industries are, ripe for this kind of disruption.
Right, what's next? What professions are next in line for an AI revolution?
Exactly. And it's not even just about replacing jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about how do we rethink how the work gets done?
Reimagine it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What new roles might come out of this and what skills are going to be, the really valuable ones going forward.
That's a good point, because we often get so caught up in the fear of AI like taking over,
Right, right.
that we forget to think about the opportunities,
Totally. And maybe the real opportunity is figuring out, how do humans and AI actually work together?
Let's elaborate.
Yeah, play to each other's strengths.
Each bringing their own strengths to the table.
Exactly.
So for our listeners out there who are, maybe ready to ditch their fear and embrace the possibilities here,
Yeah.
what's one key takeaway, would you say, that they can walk away with from our deep dive into the world of AI lawyers?
I'd say stay curious, keep learning about how this stuff is evolving, how it's impacting different fields, because we're just at the very beginning.
This is just the start.
Oh yeah, this is like the tip of the iceberg. This technology is going to touch every aspect of our lives eventually.
That's a great point.
So yeah, stay informed, stay curious.
Excellent advice. And if this deep dive sparked your curiosity, we want to hear from you. Connect with us on social media. Let us know what stood out to you most. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, the future is full of possibilities.